Greetings, Dr. Mark Winton here, and I wanted to mention a few things about the course Criminal Justice Perspectives of Genocide, the graduate level course here. At this point, you should have been able to obtain the syllabus online and also the assignments, and to also, you'll see that we have several textbooks for this course. Just to mention them briefly, we have Hagen and Ryman Richmond's Darfur and the Crime of Genocide. Uh, this book is very unique in it being one of the classics now, even though it's relatively new, and one of the few books that has a total criminal justice perspective applied to genocide. And also, we'll see that even though this book was published in 2009, that we see an ongoing genocide in Sudan and many more problems occurring, and we can follow up the history up to the current situation. This one, Problem from Hell, America and the Age of Genocide by Samantha Power, published in 2002, is an extremely useful book. When I first started using this book around 10 years ago, Dr. Power was a professor, but now you'll recognize that she is now Ambassador Power, the United States ambassador to the United Nations. So I think what's fascinating is that we can see what she wrote, over 10 years ago about genocide, how to prevent, and we can see what she's actually doing within the United Nations and within the United States, and see if she's implementing some of her ideas and how they have changed. So that's really unique. Politics aside, one way or the other, I think what's very useful is you can kind of really get an opportunity to see, her thinking patterns in her book, and then to see how that translates in practice. Machete Season by Jean Hatzfeld is just an amazing book of perpetrator accounts of genocide, and so that really, I think, his interviews are just really amazing when you look at the information that he obtained from some of the perpetrators that he interviewed, and then we have the classic Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is a psychiatrist by training. The book Man's Search for Meaning, a very, very useful book there. And again, even though part of the book is on psychotherapy, the first part is on his experience in a concentration camp during the Holocaust and his observations, assessment, evaluations, and interpretations. I think that probably Frankel's work is probably considered to be one of the more important books in Holocaust studies throughout many years. A very, very relevant book even today to apply to current genocides. Some of the things, of course, we begin to wonder right away is what is a genocide course doing in criminal justice department? You'll find that this is a relatively rare course in criminal justice departments, and sometimes even other departments as well. You're more likely probably to find this course in anthropology or political science or some other field. But really, if you think about it, genocide is extremely relevant to criminal justice. Criminal justice has neglected the study of genocide, and many theorize and try to come up with some ideas why that might be the case. Some argue that the contemporary criminal justice theories don't apply to genocide, therefore we won't study it. Others come up with the ideas that it's international, or it's in other disciplines or fields, or it's too difficult to grasp, or it doesn't apply to specific criminal justice policy in the United States, for example. And then, of course, we can begin to see how criminal justice theory actually does apply to genocide, and that genocide is an extremely important topic for criminal justice instructors and students to follow. And we're beginning to see that pick up in the field, although very slowly. We might also wonder how many genocides are currently occurring as we proceed through the course, and we can think about all the genocides in the past. What you'll see in this course is we start basically at the Holocaust and then move up to Sudan. So we skip many genocides because we simply don't have the time. We skip genocides that occurred before the Holocaust, and then we skip many genocides that occurred since. And you're always welcome in your comparative analysis to write about those genocides that we did not cover if you'd like to go into further detail for your own knowledge and also for the benefit of your colleagues. So in essence, this course becomes very interdisciplinary, and even though we'll use a criminal justice lens, other disciplines will be used throughout the course: sociology, anthropology, political science, for example, legal studies. I have a little slide up there about my background, and you can see that basically I really came into the field with a background in forensic counseling and working in the field of violence. And I had already been working for many years in studying different forms of violent behavior. And then it was in 2001 really when I started to study genocide and developed a graduate course on genocide. Since that time, I have 3 genocide courses that I've developed: a graduate level course, an undergraduate level course, and then a scholars track course. I also started publishing in the area of genocide during the past 10 years as my primary area, and it's been relatively easy to get published because it's such a new area, and it really needs to expand. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities for others to really bring that area out in the criminal justice area. Toten and Parsons, in their book on genocide, their edited book on genocides, ask some very relevant questions throughout, and I think those are very helpful. For example, who committed the genocide? How was the genocide committed? Why was the genocide committed? Who was involved? What were the historical forces? What was the long-term impact? What have been the responses by others? Is there agreement or disagreement among scholars? Do people care about the genocide today? And what does the study of this genocide contribute to the field of genocide studies? Later, I'll go into more detail about Dr. Semmelin's work on massacres and investigating massacres, and use that as a backdrop for comparative analysis purposes. You can also see that I have some definitions of genocides and different types of genocides. Of course, the standard definition from the Genocide Convention is the one that's utilized probably most frequently, but then I also have several others. For example, Dr. Fine's definition, and then you can also see different types of genocides. I present Chalk and Johansson's work. Basically, they present 4 types: to eliminate a real or potential threat, to spread terror among real or potential enemies, to acquire economic wealth, or to implement a belief, a theory, or an ideology. You can also see Harf and Gur have expanded the typology somewhat. And then I have a little section on global law in the first PowerPoint. And one thing I think what I would mention for this course is that the whole topic of genocide is huge and can be very overwhelming. There are things that I discover every day that I didn't know, and even after studying this topic maybe 12 years, I still feel like I'm just beginning and just barely scratching the surface. The main genocides I have studied basically are the Holocaust, Bosnian and Rwandan genocides, and there's all these others. Some you have never heard of before, and that's just the nature of the class. So I think that's important to recognize that when you complete the course, you'll have a lot of knowledge about different genocides, and you'll also realize that there's just so much more that is out there to learn, and so much more that we don't even know and need to discover. So welcome to the course. Thank you.